What is up, everybody? It's Meathead Minute time again, and we are back to talk about trunk stabilization exercises tonight, also known as core exercises. Now, in my last video, I talked about what movements need to be in every training program, and I didn't mention direct core stabilization, and that is a whiff on my part. That was a massive brain fart after doing too many high rep squats, so my bad on that. We're gonna talk about that tonight instead. Now, a lot of people out there, and I used to be one of these people who are like, oh, I don't need to train my trunk stabilizers directly. I do a lot of heavy squats, I do a lot of heavy deadlifts, I do carries. I have a strong core. Well, that's not entirely true. And I hate to break it to you, but beltless training is not adequate core training. We all love the Konstantinov's video where he slaps his stomach after the deadlift, says this is my effing belt, but unfortunately, most of us, those that aren't world-class athletes, and actually those world-class athletes too, need direct core stabilization exercises. So the trunk is stabilized by many, many muscles. The transverse abdominis is your major bracing muscle. You've got the rectus, which are your abs that you see visibly, or in my case, can't see visibly. But that's a conversation for another time. You have your obliques, which are your rotation and anti-rotation muscles, and then you have the muscles of your lower back. I would argue that the glutes are really a part of this stabilization complex, because if you don't train those, you're gonna have lower back issues, but really the core musculature, as they're often called, are those muscles that I listed. There's a lot of ways to train these directly, and you need some sort of dynamic core stabilization. So just doing planks isn't gonna be enough for you. I'll just list some big core exercises that I like, and you can kind of look those up later. If you go over to my low back pain video in the corrective exercise section of the YouTube, you will see what I call the big three of core exercises to protect your back. And yes, I stole those from Dr. Stuart McGill. His book Back Mechanic is excellent, as are everything he teaches about really protecting yourself from low back pain. And part of that is strengthening your core. The modified curl up, the bird dog, and the side plank are excellent core stabilization exercises. But there's also some other things you can add. If you've got a stability ball at home, stir the pots, look that up. They're brutal, one of the best core exercises out there. You can also do pal-off presses, rotations, all types of stuff with bands. If you're the bodybuilding type and you're really trying to work on the size of those abs, weighted crunches, something you have access to. And you've got this little demon right here, which I absolutely hate and probably makes me more sore than any other type of trunk stabilization exercise, is the ab roller. So those are very, very small number of great dynamic core stabilization exercises out there, and you're really hurting yourself if you're not putting these into your program. Dead bugs are another one that come to mind. You know, medicine ball rotations, sledgehammers. There's plenty of stuff to really strengthen the dynamic aspects of your core, especially if you're doing a sport like strongman or the Highland Games, where you need to move and do rotations like that. If you don't have strong muscles in the trunk to stabilize for both rotation and anti-rotation, you're gonna have a lot of problems. I can go on and on about this. If you go to liftbigeatbig.com or to my website, I actually wrote a whole article about this that goes into a lot more depth, and I'll post that in the comments. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one, and get out there and build that belt. Take it easy.